Will you describe yourself during the martial law or the EDSA time? What was it like during Marcos' time, particularly human rights?
Well, to start with, I am already 20 years old, a student of arts and science in one of the institutions within the university built in Manila. When the then President of the Philippines, Ferdinand Marcos, declared martial law on September 21, 1972. Well, yes, actually, I am one of the student activists before and during the martial law in the Philippines. I am against the Marcos administration and even a member of the Samahang Mulabe of Quezon City, an activist group composed mainly of the hardcore Kabataang Makabayan, or popularly known at that time as KM. While it's quite a little different during the EDSA revolution, but it's more peaceful. It's a nightmare. Left and right people were arrested. It's either men or women, young and old, rich or poor. Even priests, nuns or seminarians were being arrested. There were verbal reports of kidnapping, torture, and bodies found dumped in the some areas, perhaps. Victims of salvaging or summary execution. There were also reports that bodies of other victims were found, but mostly up to now were missing. You know, at that time, you can say that all stories were only speculation or rumors, conjuring because there was no actual witnesses or evidences. Surface. Even the publication of newspapers are biased because they are controlled by the government authorities. Only good news for the country was published, but little came out from the true problem of the country.
Uh, Sir, what can you say about the difference during Marcos' time and EDSA time?
In my honest and personal opinion, during Marcos' regime, martial law was declared to control the people and to continue the dynasty rule. During the EDSA revolution, the Filipino regained voices and brought back the democracy, but the implementation of changes are failure. Both are ways.
How about the freedom of the press?
Freedom of the press is the right to publish newspapers, magazines, and other printed matter without governmental restriction and subject only to the laws of libel, obscenity, sedition, etc. But a few days after the declaration of martial law, soldiers swooped down around Metro Manila and padlocked the offices of the major newspapers. Prominent newspapermen were detained on charges of subversion and other such crimes. For a moment, the press was silent, but not a few long ago when some newspapers were out, only to find out that the newspapers were cronies papers and the publishers were Marcos allies. For the past several years, editors were instructed to publish positive stories about the country, a clear view of dictatorship. In 1981, Marcos lifted martial law, and many thought that the press freedom was restored, but that was not to be. Many big happenings involving the government authorities, most likely the Marcoses and Romualdez, were controlled and not published. The Crony papers did a lot of damage and great disservice by preventing the Filipinos from being properly informed. Freedom of the press died of a natural cause.
What then happened after EDSA?
In February 25, 1986, the peaceful triumph of people power in the Philippines. The successful people power after more than 25 years remains as that. Those people who were appointed to replace the long service local officials failed and did not implement the changes that the Yellow Army fought for despite the good intention of the Yellow leaders. Nothing was done. Cronies are back. All are failures. All are ineffective. All back to square one.
Are the changes that applied during that time?
A broad-based democratic leadership rather than a feudal dynastic rule. Second, a culture of transparency, accountability, and good governance, not impunity and corruption. Third, progress and prosperity for the Filipino people through employment in the Philippines.